Hello, welcome to Captain George's Armory. This is Captain Georgia. Got a couple of World of Tanks videos for you today. Both of these videos that I'll be showing, I'm in a platoon with Terminator 7240, aka Lynx Amurie. And these are two replays where the situation just called for extreme aggressiveness. So these are going to be two very different scenarios. The first scenario that we're going to show here, I'm driving my IS-2. As you can see, it is not fully upgraded. I do not have the upgraded gun, I do not have the upgraded turret, and I do not have the upgraded engine. So I have the intermediate gun, the stock turret, the intermediate engine, and the stock tracks, and no one cares about the radio. Terminator is in his AMX M4 1945, French Tier 7 Heavy, he's fully upgraded. So we're in two Tier 7 Heavies, we're on port, pretty good map for a heavy tank, and we're top tier. Not too many Tier 7s in this match. And as we deploy, initially I was going to head down somewhere into the middle to just deploy to whichever side was weak, but it became obvious that this side was going to be weak, so Terminator and I both deploy over to the west flank right away. And our Chaffee and our T-21 immediately go out and spot basically the entire team. Let's pause for a second. We can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So far, 11 out of 15 tanks are spotted, and 10 of them, there might even be a 12th one. 10 to 11 of them are all right here, which means there are 3 to 4 tanks to defend this entire flank. And we can see one Tier 7, and, well, we can't identify any of the other Tier 7s based on the map because it's so cluttered. But basically, at this point, Terminator and I know that no matter what, we're not going to run into very much over here, and we're going to have to be depending on our team to hold that flank. And, well, let's just say I don't ever have a lot of faith in my teams, ever, because it's almost always a mistake. The vast majority of World of Tanks players are very bad, and in this 5 times experience special weekend for the 4th of July, the average quality of gameplay has been abysmal. So I'm expecting my teams to be less than useless. And right off the bat, I encounter the enemy SE-100M1, and you can see here that I deal with him with extreme aggression. The SE-100M1 is a very bad tank. It has low alpha damage, mediocre damage per minute, bad penetration, bad armor, bad health, and no gun depression. So I face tank him and I just roll straight over him using the brute force of my tank. Terminator rolls straight across the bridge and is not paying any attention to this T-25-2 back here. I won't lie, I single this guy out for 2 reasons. First of all, he's only facing a Panzer IV Schmaltorm, and the Panzer IV Schmaltorm is a decent Tier 6 medium, but a T-25-2 driven by a semi-competent driver really should be able to thrash that guy. But the other reason, the main reason why I single this guy out, is because his name is Blitzkrieger John. And a little while ago, this guy was on a team that I was on, and him and his platoon mate started off by immediately team-killing all our artillery, which was their platoon mate, and then they informed us that they were doing it because they told him not to play an arty, and he did anyway. So I had a personal grudge against that guy, so I just attacked. Now you can see we've encountered a Churchill 1 and an M4 Sherman, a pair of Tier 5s. I insta-pop the M4 Sherman, and now Terminator and myself, along with our 5916 and our Panzer IV Schmaltorm, are going to just steamroll this Churchill. Now, one thing that's nice to note is, even though I have absolutely no confidence in my teams to ever accomplish anything more complicated than, say, peeling an orange, to their credit, they are able to handle the enemy main push and acquaint themselves very nicely in this battle. So, I'm glad. It's a real breath of fresh air. Now, we've chewed up and spat out that Churchill 1, again, dealing with him with extreme aggressiveness and brutality, and we are pushing into the enemy base. Now Terminator is going to push essentially down the road. I'm going to head back towards the main base area, And then when our 5916 sees nothing there, I realize the only 4 enemy tanks left are all in that cluster over by the water. So I decide I'm just going to go straight down this road, and again, maximum aggressiveness, I'm going to charge. Now you can see my tank is not fully upgraded. I'm going straight down a road and I can't break 35 kilometers per hour, and that's in an IS-2, which is generally a fairly fast heavy, and I'm barely making a speed higher than a Tiger II could make. So with that lower horsepower engine, even though this tank is not slow, it's certainly not fast. And at this point, this match is totally over. I mean, we've won. They're not going to recover. They have absolutely no chance. We're going to rip their hearts out and eat them or something. I don't know. We're going to do like that guy in Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom. We're going to reach into their living chest, pull out their still beating heart, and then set it on fire. So I blast the T-29 in the butt, and he dies. And there you can see the enemy Sherman EZ-8, and I realize we have a chance at Brothers in Arms, but with this gun's accuracy and aiming time, it's not going to happen. So I try to aim for the Brothers in Arms, and the Tiger P kills him. Props to the Tiger P. Shouldn't have been my kill anyway. So that was a really good game. We just absolutely crushed the enemy team. The situation there was that we knew our team was going to have a weak flank, so we went to it, and when we realized that the enemy would have nothing to stop us, we steamrolled. That was a steamroll, and as you can see, it was very effective. Now let's switch over to our other clip and take a look at the other replay. Alright, so again, I'm in a platoon with Terminator 7240. We're in Tier 7s again. This time he's in his AMX M4 1945. Same tank as last time, actually. I, however, am in my Jagdpanther. German Tier 7 tank destroyer. One of my favorite vehicles in the game. I absolutely love it. It's not blazingly fast. You know, it's not super fast, but this tank destroyer is pretty quick. You know, it's quick enough. It gets the job done. It is very well armed with this 105mm gun, 320 alpha damage, 200 penetration. The accuracy is mediocre. It's only about .38. And while the rate of fire could be higher, I feel like the penetration and damage more than make up for the slightly reduced rate of fire. It's a very, very effective gun. And of course, the Jagdpanther, not famous for being well armored in World of Tanks, but if you get shot on the mantlet, you can bounce surprisingly large shots. And with the armor thickness of 85mm, with that sloping, sometimes you can bounce lower tier tank shells. Mostly this thing is about the gun. It's a very, very good. I really, really like the Jagdpanther. So I take a pot shot at the enemy ELC, no joy. And I'm going to be very concerned with those ELCs for quite a while here. Two ELC AMXs hard flanking can be a pretty powerful force. So I really, really want to eliminate them as soon as possible. So you can see right here, I'm going to take up an overwatch position and focus on their last known positions on the map in the E1F1 squares. And Terminator, you can see next to me doing the same thing. Most of our team is deploying in the normal way into the western part of the town. You can see our T1 Heavy and our T-29 are being quite aggressive, taking a very forward position in the town with a Tier 3 light tank helping them out. And we're spreading some guys out onto the flank with a KV-5 anchoring the western edge of the town. We have a KV-1S and an M18 Hellcat overwatching the field. Now at this point, Terminator says he's going to go roll up with the KV-5, so I decide that's probably a decent idea, and I decide to let the KV-1S and the Hellcat take care of those two ELCs if they, poke out their filthy little noses. So I roll in here. I'm going to try and get some fighting done with our KV-5. I see this SE-122-44, very dangerous tank destroyer, and he's maneuvering very oddly and very much in the open. So I put a shot onto him, get a good damage roll there, and I see that he is going to return fire, so I back off and he misses. I'm trying to get a bead on him right now, but the rubble pile is preventing it. He fires again and misses. That thing's got a really powerful gun, but its accuracy is pretty heinous. So he's missed two shots at me. At this point, I notice there's a Black Prince moving in. Not really something I want to screw around with. Black Prince doesn't have the most powerful gun out there, but it's got high rate of fire, and he's got really good armor. At this point, I notice our team is down 2-7, and it's at this point where I start advising that we just make a full-on attack. Like, just wherever we find the enemy, we need to just attack. So, in keeping with that, I roll on that IS, put a big hit on him, set him on fire, do a lot of damage to him, reload my gun, roll around the corner, and brutalize the 3001D. Now, I'm going to reload my gun, roll around the corner, and do the exact same thing to the Black Prince. I just want to just reckless abandon, attack, attack, attack. At this point, I've transformed from normal player who wants to do things that are smart. I've transformed into some psychotic version of General George S. Patton. I want to hold the enemy by the nose, and I want to kick him in the ass, and I want to kick the hell out of him all the time. So we brutalize that Black Prince. There's an SU-152 coming up behind us. Screw it. Not going to deal with him right now. We have weak enemy tanks in front of us. So I aim in on the Ferdinand, very, very dangerous opponent, and put him down. Move forward for a better firing position. Reloading my gun, focusing on the M6. Terminator knocks him out. And again, we're just going to attack. We're just going to press our attack. We're not going to worry about defending. We're not going to worry about holding our position. I know there's tanks over here. I know that I can flank them. And I know this T-34 probably needs help. So we're just, screw those guys behind us. We're going forward. And at this point, Terminator spots the ARL V-39. I'm not worried about him. He could actually savage my flank. He could be very dangerous. But the amount of time it would take me to stop, turn, and aim, I think I could use that time better. So Terminator stops and eliminates him, and I am attacking. I roll around the corner, lose a little bit of health to the 3601, use my repair kit on my track, blow him away. Now this was annoying. ACMLE 1948. He dunks his shot at me. Pause. I fired the way I did right here because I have one of these tank destroyers and I know how it works. This viewfinder, this big bar right here, if you shoot the center of it, it does damage, but if you shoot the ends of it, it's a no-hit box. So you ask me, why did I shoot the end of it? Because if you shoot the end of it, your shot goes through the viewfinder and into the machine gun turret on the back. It penetrates that and does damage. At least that's the theory. My shell got eaten by it. So at this point, I'm thinking this is very bad. But I know that I can reload faster than this guy because the 120mm gun he has a very slow reload. So I decide to face tank him. I'm just going to HP tank this guy and kill him. Well, he fired before I did. He only had the 100mm gun. So he actually had a quicker reload time than I did. But it doesn't matter. His shot didn't kill me. And at that point I was already 90% reloaded. So I just sit in front of him and take the shot and kill him. I put a shot at the T-29 right there and I miss. Now I have to start being a little bit more careful because I've got such low health. So I fire at the SU-152 and I manage to break his track. And don't do any damage to him. But again, even with my low health and the fact that I need to be a little bit more careful right now, I'm still in General Patton mode. I'm not trying to hold my position. I'm attacking. We've got the enemy. We're in contact with them. We know where we are. I'm allowing Terminator and the IS to hold them by the nose while I drive around behind them to kick them in the ass. So you can see the Jagd Panther, not the fastest tank out there, but it definitely is fast enough. So I'm using my speed to get around the enemy's rear and flank them. I like to always be flanking when I have the opportunity, and I definitely have the opportunity here. Terminator puts the SU-152 out of his misery. The T-29 is looking at me. We get into a staring contest. The T-29 blinks first and kills me. In fairness, with him aiming that way, he would have killed me anyway because he had 471 health left. I had 205 health left. One shot from him and I was guaranteed to die. A max damage roll from me could not have killed him. So I do go down. But as you can see, Terminator and the T-34 are pressing their attack. The T-34s just put that T-29 away, and Terminator mops up the ELC-AMX. Victory from the jaws of defeat. Our aggression saves the day. We pull off 10 out of 15 kills between the two of us. That, not like the other game where we saw a weak flank and just punched it in the face. This time we saw a team just collapsing, and so we knew our only chance at victory was to just hit the enemy so hard and so fast that they couldn't cut through the rest of our team before we cut through them first. So, I mean, fight fire with fire, we met aggression with aggression, and we have prevailed. So I hope you enjoyed those two battles. I definitely enjoyed playing those two matches. I had a good platoon session with Terminator today. It was really fun. We had some good ones, and that was definitely one of them. So I hope you enjoyed that. And until next time, just remember, guys, you can never have enough big guns.